First and foremost, I would like to place my sincere thanks to the management, Karpa Vinayak College of Engineering Technology. Also, I thank principal, head of the department, and the organizer of this 1 week virtual FDP program on contemporary research in manufacturing processes. I wish all the success for this program. This is first time we are sharing our thoughts, some of our work with this college. Anyhow, thank the organizer for the invitations, for presenting some of my work which was done earlier. Is it audible?
Audible, sir.
Thank you. If you have any queries during my presentation, please post your questions in your chat box. Yes. Regarding the characterization, what is the necessary for the characterization? What are the types? Why we are doing characterizations? With this background, I have preferred the material, non-ferrous material, which is AA7075 aluminum alloy, friction stir welded. This characterization of materials is significant when it comes to understanding their overall properties in order to introduce nanomaterial to various applications. Detailed characterization of their optical, morphological, electrical, thermal, and magnetic properties are needed. Yes, in the slides, you can able to see four different things. This microscopy, while using this microscopy, we can go for lower magnification. Further, for higher magnifications, we can prefer scanning electron microscopy. For another further magnification, higher magnifications, we can go for transmission electron microscopy. Right. What are the characterization techniques? In these studies, we have focusing on TEM, SEM, EDS, and X-ray based techniques. We did some of the work, some of the characterization on these two. But characterization techniques being done by probe-based techniques, orientation, smoothness, apply force, grain size, depth profile, dielectric properties, and mechanical properties. It can be done by 10 SEM EDS. We can identify thickness, number of layers, high resolution imaging, atomic number, contrast, surface properties, composition, morphology, etc. For X-ray diffraction method, crystallinity, interlayer distance, interface informations, composition, chemical bonding, layer interaction, and defects can also be identified. For example, if we prefer aluminum alloy 7075 through the XRD, we can identify the element. Right. Another one, spectroscopy based on techniques. This here we are not going to focusing on these things: doping, strain, thickness, number of layer, composition, and quality orientations. Optical microscopy, not only for engineering applications, we are using this optical microscopy, which is available in our department, Manufacturing Engineering, Anna University. Many researchers using this facility for having low magnification images. Normally, we used to have images, base material, what we have preferred for knowing base material microstructure. Then we will go for our specializations. We do work on welding. After welding, we want to know the different zones. Welding can be done by fusion welding and solid state welding, that is coming under different types of welding. For knowing low magnification images, we use optical microscope. We are not going to discuss on the how it is going to work, but the part which is being done, the microstructure can be done. We have to place the part under the lens, that microscope. Through this digital camera system, we can watch the image. Based on the grain size, based on the structure, you have to prefer what magnification you want, right? Before going for microstructure, we need to take care of the specimen. We need to do many different things, right? We need to do polish. Mirror polish should be attained for taking microstructure from the specimen. Here, this photograph shows the optical microscopes. The image produced by the objective lens is then magnified again by the eyepiece lens, which act as a simple magnifying glass, right? By the light, we are focusing on the object. We can get the low magnification images. Sorry. For further higher magnifications, we can go for scanning electron microscope. In this, we can this facility also available in the Department of Manufacturing Engineering, Annamalai University. The cost of these machines around 1.5 crore. We are using this facility for doing some characterizations. Here, we are using the electron in the beam interact with the sample, producing various signals that can be used to obtain information about the surface, topography, and the composition. SEM analysis provides high-resolution image useful for evaluating various materials for surface fractures, flaws, contaminants, or corrosions. Here, for knowing the structure, for knowing the grain size, it can be done by using scanning electron microscopy. These techniques allow you to see the surface of just about any sample, from industrial metal to geological sample to biological specimen like spores, insect, and cells. This is a small video about working of scanning electron microscopy. Our professor is, I think, Professor Satish Kumar is watching these presentations. He was in charge for this scanning electron microscopy when he was working with us. Professor Satish Kumar has done a lot of work, lot of characterization, and he also helped for many scholars for taking very good SEM images. Okay. Next, TEM, transmission electron microscope, for doing characterization of getting TEM images. Our people prefer PhD technology Coimbatore. I did the characterization at this PhD Tech Coimbatore only. For high resolution of high magnification images, we use this TEM facility. Through this, we can for single grain can be focused in the nano level. Nano level can be identified by this TEM facility. This is the video will give you information about the TEM. This process is based on the electron beam. We are focusing at the very small portion for getting the image, for getting characterizations. Usually people will prefer materials for the size of less than 1 mm. Less than 1 mm have to be prepared. Then the material prepared will go for iron milling further. It is about 3 mm diameter only, that the hole which has been made in the part 3 mm diameter only, which will be focused by the electron beam. For another characterizations, X-ray diffraction method. Here, this facility, we don't have this facility. We will go for utilizing this facility. Satyabama University having this facility. We did some characterization on XRD. What are the elements that combinations comes after the welding? Either it can be fusion welding or it can be solid state welding, or in the base materials we can confirm what are the elements with the what is the combinations that can be identified by XRD techniques. It's okay. For the characterization, it is very, very important, that is specimen extraction from the base material. For doing any useful work, for doing any welding techniques, either it can be fusion welding or solid state welding, first we will receive material from some other source. For example, we are getting material from Mumbai by the supplier. We don't know whether it is the material received by the person, that material is right or wrong. For confirming the material, definitely we have to do EDS. That EDS will give chemical composition of the material which is received by the person. Otherwise, we can do the XRD for confirming the element which is present in the material. For that, we need to extract the specimen from the base material. Further, we will go for grinding. which includes mounting and belt polishing. Then fourth one is the belt polishing. That is very, very essential. We need to avoid scratches. We need to change different grades of papers that should be introduced by getting polishing. Then the conductive environment, rough polishing, which will start from the rough polishings. For removing the material, there will be the waviness or roughness that can be removed roughly by applying more force. Then fine polishing should be done. Here is a very, very important one, etchant. Normally for the aluminum alloy, we used to have Keller's reagent, etchant. We have to prefer the etchant. Now normally people prefer the etchant based on the published information. People will give published information that if you write an article, there will be they will give percentage of solution should be mixed together for getting etchant. Sometime it will work. Otherwise, if we can use you can use any standard books for preferring the etchant. Without etchant, we won't get the image properly. Then we have to prefer the conductive environment, then the examinations. Finally, we can go with the optical microscope or SEM or TEM XRD. For these optical microscope and SEM, there will be a size restrictions. We cannot focus all the area with one setting. What you see in the naked eye, it will be differ when you, the picture will differ when you prefer OM or SEM or TEM. But for getting proper images, etchant should be the good one. Right. How specimen being prepared for doing microscopy? This is what we used to do in our laboratory for getting very good microstructure. These are the procedure how to follow before getting microstructure with the specimen. எத்தனை பேர் இருக்காங்க? எத்தனை பேர் இருக்காங்க? 25. There is a separate laboratory. Privately, they are doing polishing work for getting very good microstructure. Yes, based on the process, now we are looking into the welding processes. For fusion welding, these are the for fusion welding. First, we look into the gas welding, oxyacetylene, air acetylene, and oxyhydrogen welding. For resistance welding, mud welding, spot welding, seam and projection. For arc welding, these are the newer welding process. But in this presentation, welded 7075 aluminum alloy that is coming under solid state welding. Why it is called solid state welding? Material will not be melted during the process. Material being joined with the plastic state only. Here another three more ultrasonic facility also available in our center. Diffusion bonding, explosive welding. Explosive, one of our former professor K.R. Raghunandan did enormous work on the explosive welding. This slide shows the solid state welding techniques. It is the process. It deals with the tool. Here, non-consumable tool, which will rotate and plunging into the work. The plate being welded, kept under the fixture. It will be joined with the stirring tool, non-consumable tool. The next figure shows the rotary friction welding. Here also, there is no separate electrode, consumable electrode used. One is the rotating member, another one will be kept in the chuck. That friction created between the two parts and it is joined. Another one is ultrasonic welding and linear friction welding, diffusion bonding and explosive forming. These are the things. For friction stir welding, we prefer 7075 aluminum alloy. Here we are focusing on non-ferrous materials. These are the category. These are the for ferrous, these pure ferrous metals and iron, which includes the ferrous alloy steel, high-speed steel. For non-ferrous, it is pure non-ferrous metals and non-ferrous alloys, which is common brass, solder, copper plus zinc. These are the combinations which is coming under the non-ferrous material. Now coming to the subject, a case study on the characterization on friction stir welded AS7075T651 aluminum alloy joints with different post-weld heat treatment. That welding was done by the friction stir welding using aluminum alloy. After the welding, we went for different post-weld heat treatment. One is the artificial aging, and another one is solution heat treated followed by artificial aging. Has been done two different post-weld heat treatment. Why we went for post-weld heat treatment? After conducting the tensile test, after welding, we will be conducting the tensile test. That test report will be compared with the base metal report. Then we may know whether the welding property enhances the mechanical property or not. After welding, we came to know that mechanical property deteriorated by the friction stir welding techniques. It is around 40%. We were losing 40%. We were attained 60% of joint efficiency by the friction stir welding process. That is why we went for post-welding heat treatment to enhance the mechanical properties of friction stir welded AA7075 aluminum alloy. Why we prefer 7075 aluminum alloy? Principally alloyed with aluminum, zinc, magnesium, copper. These are the alloy major composition of this alloy presented in the AA7075 aluminum alloy. These are heat treatable aluminum alloy which will support for the heat treatment. that mechanical property can be enhanced, improved by doing heat treatment. Primary strengthening precipitate is the Mg2Zn. This is the applications where it is used. Rail housing, which is used in the aerospace applications. Problems in fusion welding. There will be a problem when we prefer fusion welding techniques for joining aluminum alloy. Hot cracks and porosity is the major problem. Another problem is dissolution of strengthening precipitate, which I said earlier, Mg12Zn. That strengthening precipitate will dissolve due to the high heat generations by the fusion welding techniques. If the strengthening precipitate dissolve, which will deteriorate the mechanical property. Another thing, porosity will occur if you prefer fusion weldings of aluminum alloy, as well as hot cracking, liquefaction cracking, and alloy segregation, which will not support the mechanical property. That is why we have preferred friction stir welding to improve the mechanical properties of friction stir welded joint. Here, welding is being done only at the solid state. That means melting will not take place during the process. No porosity, no spatter, low shrinkage. The shrinkage will be there after welding, but it is very, very low compared to the fusion welding techniques. It can be operated in all the positions. If you go through the U-tip of friction stir welding techniques, you can see that all positions it can be welded nowadays. But for the cost, we have to invest more money for getting those facilities. Our people have reported friction stir welding of that these solid state welding techniques will give higher good mechanical property than the fusion welding techniques. Characterization techniques performed in the studies. We went for optical microscope, SEM studies, TEM studies, fracture studies, phase studies, and EDS. For the post-weld, after welding, after friction stir welding, we went for post-weld heat treatment, that is artificial aging and solution treated, followed by artificial aging. Artificial aging was done at the 120 degree. After the welding, we have to keep the specimen in the furnace. We have to maintain 120 degree for 24 hours. After that, we have to stop the furnace and keep the specimen within the furnace for cooling. It will be in the furnace. But the first welding for solutionizing, we need to keep the specimen at the 480 degree for 1 hour. Then immediately quench in the water. Then we have to keep the specimen at the 120 degree for another 24 hours for doing STAA. That post-weld joint, post-welded joint, post-welded means this AA joint and STA joint will be examined by the optical microscope. Again, when for STEM study, TEM study, fracture surface and phase studies, ADS. With these images, microscopy, SEM studies, TEM studies, we went for comparing the mechanical properties with the image what we obtained from this TEM, SEM, and microscopy. Now, once we receive the material, we have to confirm the chemical compositions. These are the major alloying element which is present in the zinc, magnesium, copper 6.1% in the base material, magnesium 2.9%, copper 2%, and remaining these are the elements. Mechanical properties. After receiving the material, we have to prepare the specimen, both smooth and notched specimen. We have to conduct the tensile test. After tensile test, we have attained 510 megapascals of yield strength. UTS around 563 megapascal. Elongation is about 16%. It has been measured, and notch tensile strength and notch strength ratio, which is given the table. This is the optical micrograph of AA7075 aluminum alloy. For getting this microstructure, we have to polish the material which we have received from the supplier. Here you could see the elongated grains which is oriented to the rolling direction of the materials. Long, very long grains has been observed in the base material. This is the friction welding schematic diagram. Here the pin portion will be inserted to the plate which is kept in the fixer, and it will rotate, which will create the friction as well as frictional heat to plasticize the material. Once it is plasticized, the tool will move towards this direction. This is which is called welding direction. Here we need to concentrate on the tool rotations. We have to identify the optimized parameter on which speed tool should rotate, as well as the tool movement should be noted. After welding, we can have different zone. There is no fusion zone in the friction stir welding. Here, stir zone or nugget zone. Otherwise, it is called nugget, weld nugget. In fusion welding, we can have two different zones, fusion zone, and another one is heat affected zone. But in the friction stir welding, we will be having zones like thermomechanically affected zone, which is adjacent to the weld zone, that is weld nugget or stir zone. Another zone is heat affected zone, which will form during the process, affected by the heat. These zones will affected by the heat. Immediate after to the heat affected zone, we can able to see unaffected base material. Here, with these weld portions, we can have effect on the up to the shoulder portion. This is the weld area. This is the pin portion is called stir zone. This shoulder portion is called thermomechanically affected zone, tool shoulder. This up to here, we have to measure the zone, thermomechanically affected zone. This look like a taper because there is a pin which is kept below the shoulder. This is a small video about the friction stir welding. Here, 12 mm thick plate being joined. This video taken from our facility during joining of 12 mm thick plates. Now tool is plunged into the plate. Now it is moving towards the welding direction, and welding will be over shortly. For doing friction stir welding, this fixer is very, very important. They should be supported for avoiding buckling of the plate being joined. Now tool is being extracted. Different pin profile we are using. In these studies, we have used taper threaded tool for getting very good mechanical properties. Earlier, I tried with the plain cylindrical, plain taper, as well as I went for tapered threaded tool. That pin portions is fully threaded. With this tool, I did friction stir welding. It is also possible by the many tools. These are the shapes it can be welded. Based on the material, based on the tool material, weld quality will differ. Weld quality will differ. We need to, welding can be done without a defect, but weld quality, we can test the weld quality by conducting the tensile properties. After conducting the properties only, we may know which tools yielded higher mechanical properties. These are the possible shapes which can be made on the tool profile based on the necessity, based on the material. But the tool shape, when you are preparing the tool shape, we should have a skilled person for getting this tool shape. This slide shows the experimental details. This machine is the friction stir welding. This is the close-up view of the welding area. Facility which is available in the C Major Center for Welding Joining and Research Laboratory, which was created by the Professor V. Balasubramanian, present head of the department. He is the director of C Major. He only introduced this machine to the India. Very first in India, this machine was introduced only by our professor. After introducing these machines, many researchers have done their PhD by using this facility. They have proved that even steel material around 10 mm thick plate can be joined by using this friction stir welding technique without going for fusion welding techniques. Based on the application purpose, they did these studies. For this work, we used this tool for doing joint. These are the fabricated defect-free joint. We did liquid penetrant test, NDT test after the welding. These are this welded plate will go for the heat treatment. After welding, this joint is called as welded joint. After the joint, we will go for the heat treatment. After the heat treatment, we are comparing the report. We are comparing the results. This is the parent metal. This is the parent metal mechanical property. Friction stir welded mechanical property. Artificial aged joint mechanical property. This mechanical property is a solution heat treated followed by the artificial aging mechanical properties. While preparing the specimen, we have to keep the standard in our mind. This is ASTM E4678 standard has been used to prepare the sample. When we are publishing paper or writing an article, we have to mention this standard and what standard we have followed to prepare the specimen. It will be asked by the reviewer once you written the paper, right? It will be asked on what basis you have prepared the specimen. That is very important. These STA mechanical properties have been compared with the base metal properties, parametal properties. We attained around 79% of improvement were attained in the when the fracture surface analysis by using scanning electron microscope. After conducting the test, the tensile test, after conducting the test, we did this SEM analysis. This is the fractured surface of the specimen. This is the photograph, scanned image of the small portions. These portions have been analyzed through the SEM analysis. We can identify through this analysis whether the fractures occurred in the mode of brittle or ductile. Both can be identified. Ductile fractures have been observed. Ductile mode of fractures have been observed. This is the fine dimpled structure were observed in the image. That is why it is called ductile mode of failure were attained, both in the parent metal as well as in the asphalt joint. This is the fracture surface analysis of unnotched tensile specimen. This is the fractured portion. This is the artificially aged condition. All the images showing that, confirming that ductile mode of failure. Here, after conducting this solution treated aged joint, the cup and cone fracture has been observed. This is the one of the evidence for confirming the ductile mode of failure. These images was taken at the IIT Madras during the period of 2012. We don't have this same facility now. Nowadays we have this facility. This is the fracture analysis of the notched tensile specimen of parent metal as well as the asphalt joint. We created the notch on the specimen. This is a fractured portions. Otherwise, we can take photograph if it is possible. We can take photograph. Otherwise, we have to scan the image. Then this portion kept in the SEM image machines, and we observed these images. Again, this is the fracture surface analysis of notched tensile specimens of artificially aged and solution treated and aged joint. Here there is no much difference between the smooth specimen and the notched specimen. Both are showing the dimple feature in all the same images. With the mechanical properties of tensile property, we did the fatigue properties of the parent metal and the FSW joint. It has been compared. From the joint, we have extracted the specimen from the joint, 3 smooth, 3 notched specimen, 3 unnotched specimen. Here again, we have compared the property with the asphalt joint, AA joint, and the STA joint. What is the? We identified the number of cycles. This STA joint exhibited fatigue strength around 100 megapascal, which is closer to that of parent metal value. This is the fracture surface after conducting the fatigue test. This is the parent metal fracture surface. Here you could see when you are conducting fatigue test, you can see crack initiations from the image and crack propagations, and finally final failure occurred at the specimen. Here, for conducting the tensile test and conducting the fatigue test, that SEM image will differ. Here you can able to see number of striations like river patterns can be observed in the SEM image. But in the previous slides, previous SEM image, these kinds of features will not be, that is not visible. These kinds of features, these are the striations will form when you are conducting the specimen. When the specimen subjected to the fatigue testing, you can identify this striation. Otherwise, it can be called beach marks. We can also call as beach marks. If we are getting this type of features, that means that specimens will run for more number of cycles, around 5 lakh cycles. It will run without breakage. Here some beach marks also obtained, also dimple like a feature. இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே the noodles மாதிரி இருக்கிறது எல்லாமே வந்து dimple like a feature. We used to say dimple like a features. Here again the artificial aged joint. You can see the crack initiation, propagation, and final failure. With this image, we did with this specimen, we did SEM image. We have observed different morphology. What is there? Some of the inclusions were found also in the SEM image. In the solution treated and artificially aged joint, we have identified different features in the same image. With this information, we have to write the article. We have to give justifications why it is delayed, why this failure not occurred. Quickly, these are the things we have to justify. We should give justifications. Here we identify the beach marks in the portions, portable crack, proportion, direction, which is clearly visible. This is the scanned image only. When we are going for higher magnifications, these are the features were identified with this specimen only. Here is the fracture surface of the notched fatigue specimen. Again, the same, the portions, this surface taken from this image only, parent material, and this image taken from the asphalt joint. Here you could see these portions. This is the portions taken from the part. This is a fracture surface of the notched fatigue specimen. Again, here the another reasons were given. Secondary cracks were also identified in the artificial aged joint. That is why this is a reason why the material failure took place earlier than the STA joint. Again, we can call it as striation or beach marks. These features were found in this image through the SEM. Now we are going for optical micrograph of different regions of FSW joint. These are the characterizations how we can attain the magnification. Through the magnification image. Through the image, we may come to know what are the morphology from the image. We can observe some information from the image. This is the welded portions. After welding, we have to cut the specimen 50 to 10 mm. We gave number for each. For example, this is the C, shoulder influenced region. From this region, we get the image. This is the image we get from this region only. Again, you see, it is vary. Shoulder influence region is different. Stir zone is different. Stir zone, why it is called a stir zone? It is this portion is occupied by the pin. This portion is occupied by the pin, and it is formed by stirring actions. Due to the stirring actions, these elongated grains are broken into the many grains. Small fine grains were obtained by this zone, this area. Again, this advanced side thermomechanically affected zone is the E, denoted by the E. Here it is severe deformation has been occurred. Severe deformation has been occurred. That is why these elongated grains are severely affected by the shoulder region. Again, at the bottom is the pin influenced region. Again, it is finer compared to the stir zone, middle zone. And both this image and thermomechanically affected zone, advancing side and retreating side, both are similar, but which were formed by the severely formed by the shoulder region. This is the different region. After welding, we obtained, we did artificially aged condition. After the conditions, what happened to the joint? There is no much variations. We can't identify much variations through the optical microscopy, but it can be identified SEM, or it can be identified by the TEM image. But both the image, we did the heat treated conditions. After the welding, this image and this image looking similar. But when you, with this data, if you write a paper, if you write an article, there will be a lot of questions will be raised by the reviewer. You can write an article with this information with the supportive document only. If you include more number of references, then reviewer will ask, what is your contribution to the work? So with this information, we cannot complete the article. And this micrograph has been taken after the solution treated, followed by the artificial aging STA joint. These are the different zones. Again, solutionizing, where we did solutionizing at 480 degree. During solutionizing, there is a possible of dissolving precipitates during solutionizing. We are going to keep the specimen, keep the joint at 480 degree for 1 hour. Again, it will be treated for artificial aging. During artificial aging, there will be a recoarsening of grains which were found in the stir zone. Again, there is a lot of variations after conducting these artificial aging and solution treated joint. During the TEM micrograph, we can identify different morphology. It is not similar like micrograph and SEM image, but single grain has been focused. Single grain has been focused. The single grain, you can concentrate on one grain that has been focused here through the TEM. We can identify other particles also. What are this may be the precipitate. This may be the precipitate or strengthening precipitates that can be identified through the XRD. These are the single grain. These are the grain boundaries. These are the grain boundaries. These are the this is the entire. This portion is the grain, separate single grain. These are the grain boundaries, which will not be visible in the micrograph. through the TEM image only, we can identify the boundary, how big the grind. We can identify why strength is, why STA joint gives a higher mechanical property, why AA joint not giving good mechanical property. With this TEM image, we can write some reason. This is a TEM micrograph of the asphalted joint. Usually, these are the grinds presented in the base metals, elongated grinds broken into many. These elongated grinds broken into many. In the stiff zone, this is the stiff zone portion. These are the elongated grinds are broken. This is the TEM micrograph of the base materials. Here, there's various different size is available in the base materials. After fatigue, we did the fatigue crack growth test. We compared mechanical properties through the fatigue crack growth test. Again, the STA joint gives a very good enhancement in the fatigue crack growth properties also. In the fatigue crack growth, here you can also identify the crack initiation, crack propagation, and final failure has been observed. For this fatigue crack growth, we have to prepare specimen. CCT specimen have to be prepared. Test. This is the fractured portion of specimen, which is a small specimen. It has been scanned. Here, A, B, C is the locations. We took images from SEM images from these portions only to identify the mode of failure, where the crack initiated or brittle failure or ductile failure. This that is why it has been marked. But C is the final failure region marked here. And for the AA joint, we took the these are the portions for taking different SEM image. Dimple-like features were observed in all the joints after conducting this. Precipitates, strengthening precipitates. These are the precipitates presented in the parent metal. We have identified by conducting. Strengthening precipitates are missing in the AA joint. That is visible in the XRD results. In the asphalted joint, some of the precipitates are dissolved due to the stirring action of the pin. And after conducting STA joint, the precipitates formed during STA conditions, which is the evident from the XRD results. Then EDS, where we can identify the percentage of elements which is presented in the materials. It can be done on parent metal, steel zone, artificially aged joint, and the STA joint. We can confirm why the mechanical properties deteriorated or why the mechanical properties improved. With this, we can confirm EDS, XRD result, and TEM micrograph. Up to this, I have prepared for my presentations, and these are the details. We are working in the manufacturing engineering, the Department of Manufacturing Engineering. We have C major laboratory. In the laboratory, we have different facility: fusion welding laboratory, solid state welding laboratory, plasma processing laboratory, physical metallurgy laboratory, mechanical testing laboratory. These are the laboratory, different laboratory we have, headed by our beloved Professor V. Balasubramanian. He is the director. All the facility, all the laboratory, which was created only by his personality only. only by him only. We having about 11 different laboratory. You people can utilize our facility by paying nominal amount. That amount can be very less compared with the other colleges facility. These are the photograph of different machinery what we have in our laboratory. TIG welding facility, we have MIG welding, CMT, arc oscillation, rotary friction welding, friction stir welding, manual, CNC operated, and linear friction welding also available, spot welding, ultrasonic welding, plasma welding, diffusion bonding machines also available, and this laser facility is available. Thank you all for patient listening. With this detail, I thank once again. I thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity for sharing some of my thoughts through this FDP. Thank you.